Hi, welcome to my video on Solve Quadratic Inequalities Part 3. In this part, you have to simplify the expression and place it on the left side and then find the values of x that will satisfy the inequality. Let's do some examples. We have x times x plus 2 is greater than 8, so we multiply by x. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x greater than 8, and the 8 moves to the left side to become negative. So we have a trinomial that's factorable. X squared is x and x. Factors of 8 to give you 2 are 4 and 2. 8 and 1 won't do it. Product is negative. Sum is positive. So it has to be a positive 4 and negative 2 greater than 0. X plus 4 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. X is equal to negative 4, or x is equal to 2. And let's draw number 9. And on the number 9 we put a negative 4 and we put a positive 2. And now we'll pick up a number above 2, we call it 3. Between negative 4 and 2 is a 0. And below negative 4 is negative 5. And again, I'll solve this, but what I'm going to do now is says this is greater than. Greater than is a plus, so that's on the outside. So without even solving it, I'm going to pick these answers. Here we go. I'm going to pick that x is less than negative 4, or x is greater than 2. That's the two that I'm picking, and that would be open bar, negative 4 going to negative infinity, open, or it would be open at 2 going to positive infinity. Remember, greater than is always on the outside. Greater than 2, less than a negative 4. But just to make sure, let's pick the number that x is negative 5 and sub in the x is negative 5 plus 4, x is negative 5 minus 2. That gives me a negative and a negative, which is a plus. Okay, and we picked x is equal to 0. So we put a 0 in the place of x, and that gives me a plus and a minus, which is a minus. So between negative 4 and 2 we have a minus, and we picked x to be 3, so I'll put a 3 in, and that's a 7, which is positive, and that's a 1, which is positive. Positive times positive is positive. So remember, greater than is the positive, and I say it's the outsides, the outside to 2 and outside to negative 4, and there's the answers. So without doing this, I know if this is a positive coefficient, positive 1 or positive right here, then greater than is on the outside of these two, and if you had a less than, you'd be between them. B, and again, if you want to pause the video and work this out before I do, go ahead. I have to simplify each side first. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x, less than or equal to. And I got a trinomial here, binomial times a binomial. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x, negative 2 times x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6, minus 8. And as I always simplify each side before I transpose. So I added the x's and added the numbers. Now I'll move all terms to the left in descending order. So the negative x squared minus 2x plus 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 0. It was a greater than. X squared plus 3x plus 2 is less than or equal to 0. This is factorable. And x squared is x and x. The product is 2. The sum is 3. So it's only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. Product is positive. Sum is positive, so it has to be 2 positives. So x plus 2 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. X is equal to negative 2, or x is equal to negative 1. And we'll draw a number line. And we have negative 2, and we have a negative 1. So let's pick again without, we have less than equal to. So less than is in between. So I will pick negative 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to negative 1. Less than, again I have a less than equal to. Less than equal to is a negative. And when I have the negative, I picked the between the two numbers. That's the way. And if you want to do the interval, is equal to, so it's a square bracket, negative 2 with negative 1 square bracket. And again, if you want to try that 0, and in between here you get a negative 1.5, and right here you get negative 3. If you try each of these numbers into this expression, then guaranteed, because this is a positive coefficient, this will be a plus, this will be a minus, and this will be a plus, because I have a positive coefficient with a less than. Less than is in between the two numbers. And because it's in between, I have to go less than equal to on each of these. But be my guest and put in x equals negative 3, and put in x equals negative 1.5, and put in x equals 0. And I bet that when you work it out, you can try it, work it out, and you will get a positive. And well, just since I'm doing it, so I'll go negative 3 plus 2 and a negative 3 plus 1. That's a negative, and that's a negative, so that'll be a positive, as I said it would be. And we got a negative 1.5 plus 2, and we got negative 1.5 plus 1, and that's a positive. Make that positive, and that's a negative. So positive times a negative is a negative. Yep. And put in 0, you got 0 plus 2, and you got 0 plus 1. That's positive. And that one is positive, which is positive. Again, I didn't have to work this because now I know that when I have a quadratic with a positive coefficient, then greater than is on the outsides of greater than negative 1 and less than negative 2. If you got a less than, it's in between. Okay, let's continue. And we have some practice. Practice means after showing you those two, then you can work these out. So here we go. I have to simplify each side first. So x FOIL, x times x squared, x times 1, 1x, negative 1 times x, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, less than 4 times x, 4x, 4 times 1, 4 times negative 1, negative 4. Simplify, they cancel. So I have each side simplified. Now I transpose x squared minus 4x minus 1 plus 4 less than 0. Simplify. Okay, and let's see, it was factorable. X squared is x and x. Factors of 3, 3 and 1. Product is positive, sum is negative, has to be two negatives. So x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to 3, or x is equal to 1. Okay, and we draw a number line. And so we got a 3 and a 1, so 3 is right there, 1 is there. And what do I have? I have a less than. A less than is in between, guaranteed, and there's no equal sign. So 1 less than x less than 3. It's between these two numbers. If this was a greater than, it would be greater than 3 and less than 1. Again, I will show you why. I will pick the number called 4, and I'll pick a 2, and I'll pick a 0. So let's try the 0. 0 in this expression, 0 minus 3, 0 minus 1, and that's a negative, and every time. If this is a positive coefficient if this is positive, then this will always be true. And I'll try 2. Let's see what happens. 2 minus 3, 2 minus 1, that's a negative. That's a positive, which is a negative. There's a negative, that's a positive. And now I'll try 4. Sub in 4. 4 minus 3, 4 minus 1, positive. And 4 minus 1 is positive, which is a positive. And again, the less than is the negative, which is in between. So again, knowing this, what I'm saying, you didn't have to do this, but it just helps. And this is open, 1 comma 3 open. Also, you might say, well, how do you know if you're right? What about if you made an error going through here? Well, take the answers and check. Let's check to see if we're right. Let's check with x is what? In this interval, we put a 2. So let's take the 2 and put it back into this inequality. And if this 2 makes it true, then what I have is right. Because if it's not in between, it must be on the outsides. So let's put the 2 in the main inequality. So I'm putting 2 into the x here. So I take my time. I'm putting 2 in for x. And I have to work it out, so I'll do the brackets. 1, 3, 4, 1. 3 less than 4. True. So again, the interval is okay. So what I'm saying is that it has to be between 1 and 3. So all numbers between 1 and 3 will make this inequality true. And number 2, again, we have to simplify. You got to be careful now because we got a subtraction here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply these first, and I'm going to simplify them, and then I'm going to subtract last because I'm using PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. So I have to do, there's no brackets to do, there's no exponents, so I have to do the multiplication division. So I'll do the multiplication. So 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. And FOIL on these two is 2x squared minus 2x plus x minus 1. That's the first, outside, inside, last. That's what I did here. I will simplify these before I will do anything else. So that's 2x squared minus x minus 1. So since I have the multiplication, and now I will do the addition subtraction. So 3x squared minus 6x. So when I subtract, I add on the opposite. So that's a negative 2x squared plus x plus 1, greater than or equal to 15. And besides, if you put a 1 here, 1 times these two terms will not change. But that's subtraction. If you put a 1 here, then a negative 1 multiplied by the 3 of these, negative 1 multiplied by the trinomial, will make it negative, positive, positive. Now I will add my like terms, simplify. So I got an x squared minus 5x. X squared minus 5. Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, that's, oh, my mistake. I was thinking about something else then. So I simplified. Here we go. So I have to simplify the left side and simplify the right side. Now I'm going to move all numbers to the left side. Sometimes when you do something, you always guess yourself at times, so you just go back and make sure you do it right. So I simplified this left side right here, about the 15 over made negative 1 and negative 15, negative 14. And is this factorable? Let's see. X squared is x and x. Factors of 14. 14 is the product. So the product is negative 14. So that's 1 times 14 or 2 times 7. The sum is negative 5. So 14 and 1, so 2 and 7 will do it. So 2 and 7. And the product is negative 14. The sum is negative 5. So I got a plus 2 minus 7. Multiply. 2 times negative 7, negative 14. Add negative 5. Perfect. I just checked it out. So x is negative 2 or x is 7. So let's draw a number line. And we got a negative 2 and 7, so negative 2 is there, 7 is there. Let's pick some more numbers that's around that. And again, we have, oh, I got a greater than. Look, a great, look, I put an equal sign there. Well, I just noticed it. This is greater than or equal to 0. So greater than is on the outside, so that means it's x is x is going this way, so x is less than or equal to negative 2, or x is greater than or equal to 7. Gotta be careful. And so that notation is it's equal to, so it's a square bar, negative 2 going to negative infinity, open. Or it's a square bar because of the equal sign, 7 going to positive infinity, open. And if you check each of these numbers, if you want, you can check with an 8. In between here is 0. To the left of this is negative 3. So if you take each of these numbers of x equals negative 3, x equals 0, and x equals 8. If you sub those in, because this is a positive, this is guaranteed to be a positive for the negative 3, negative for the 0, positive for the 8, and as a result, because you have what? Greater than equal to, that's where it's pluses. That means you have the outside, which is greater than 7, greater than equal to 7, and less than or equal to negative 2. You can try these numbers, be my guest, to see that you get a plus for this one, you get a minus for this one, and a plus for this one. Always, when you have a positive coefficient in front of the x, greater than is on the outside of these two. And if you had a less than, it would be between these two. Try it. See if I'm right. Check it out. So, and that brings us to the end of solving quadratic inequalities. If you like my video, click the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.